So I was browsing some Facebook final expense insurance groups and noticed there was some conversation about chargebacks, how to deal with them and avoid them. And I couldn't believe some of the silly suggestions that were made, although there were some pretty good recommendations too. And I want to use this video to kind of give you my thoughts on how to mitigate and manage chargebacks in the final expense business so that you have the highest level of quality of business you can, and then also simultaneously minimize the chargebacks, minimize the lapses, so you can have a great final expense book of business. My name is David DeFord, owner of DeFord Insurance Group. I train and recruit agents nationally to sell things like final expense, Medicare and annuities, both face-to-face and over the phone. Please make sure you like this video and subscribe if you like the stuff I do. Thanks so much for watching. Let's jump right into it. So here are, I think, 5 tips I got here in my notes to avoid frustrating final expense chargebacks. So probably the number one thing I can say, and these aren't in any particular order, just a list of things that come to mind. Really doing all of these is going to give you the best outcomes, of course. Number one on the list here is using Social Security billing strategy. So what is that? So Social Security billing is when we time the payment to the deposit day that the client receives his or her Social Security retirement or disability. Now, why does this matter? Doesn't it work the same if I set it up for the 3rd of the month? No. You see, here's the thing. Banks are closed on the weekends and the banks are closed on holidays for bank drafts. So if I set up a policy to draft on the 3rd, and it's actually funny, it's July 1st when I record this, so this is a perfect example. The 3rd falls on a Saturday. We can't initiate drafts on the 3rd because the banks are closed. We can't initiate them earlier either, more on why that's relevant in a moment. We'll end up drafting them on Monday, July the 5th. Okay, so 2 days after they got their regular standing check. Also, the government, on days where the 3rd falls on a holiday or a weekend, pays Social Security payments a day early. So in this case, the 3rd falls on a Saturday. What does that mean, guys? That means our clients get paid when? On Friday, July 2nd. So we're in a situation here where we should have drafted them on the same day they got their check, right? But because the 3rd falls on Saturday, our clients get paid on Friday and our draft doesn't come out till Monday. In other words, our clients have the full weekend to pull all their money out, buy a bunch of fireworks and natural ice, get drunk and party, and end up with nothing in their bank accounts, except a giant lapse for us, right? So how do we get away or avoid this frustrating situation? This is where Social Security deposit billing comes in, because the draft is based off of the deposit date, and that deposit date obviously is a moving target. So in the same example, if we had set our clients up for Social Security deposit billing, we would have taken their money out on Friday, not this Monday. And when you lower the draft date down and time it to the exact day that the client gets their money, your quality of business goes through the roof and you have less chargebacks. So this is critical. Use carriers that are Social Security deposit billing friendly. Not all of them are. If you'd like some ideas of which ones are, comment in the chat below. I'll give you my list of preferred carriers that I enjoy. Number 2 on the list here to avoiding frustrating final expense chargebacks is confirming the budget. So part of our DeFord Insurance Group final expense script strategy is to early on talk about budget. Now, we're not talking about the price we're going to sell it to them, but we're talking about budget and what's affordable. We ask the budget well early on in the conversation before we start getting them all like excited about what we sell, so that they're still sober and not just ginned up about how awesome our product is, because we have a propensity to do that because it's a great product. And that gives us the ability to, with a level head, tell us what budget they're reasonably comfortable with. And we do it in a way where if they object to a higher price that we start with and then lower it, we're not going to badger them into the higher price. We just immediately walk the price down to where they can give us 100% complete confidence of a yes, saying they can actually afford it. And again, what this does is it gives us kind of a lower level affordability range we know they can afford to start with. And so for whatever reason, if there's a price objection, it's already handled at number 2 if our client gives us a price in a sober, level-headed way, then it's likely going to contribute to better quality business, right? Because if we excite them at how awesome our product is and then show them the price at peak level of excitement, they might buy too much. I'm of the persuasion our final expense prospects sometimes have been talked into doing something they never should have done, because many of our prospects, hate to say it, they're not very good with money. They're not very good financial managers for the most part. So I've always been very sensitive to this, and asking for budget like this early on just reduces this propensity for people to overspend what they really should be able to. Tip number 3 here is be a broker. Don't push product. Again, big problem in this business is a lot of agents are captive. They push one product exclusively, and that product is commonly not the best choice for the client. It's either overpriced or the quality of the underwriting is terrible. And what ends up happening is you expose yourself to a litany of chargeback risks. For example, my guys come behind you, and because you sold them a pile of crap, they replace it at better coverage amounts or better pricing, or maybe even just better first day full coverage opportunity. Whereas somebody had a 2-year wait forced down their throats, and now because we're brokers, we pick and choose the plan that underwrites them at first day full coverage. So if you're a broker, you're already automatically giving yourself the best heads up when it comes to persistency with quality of business. And if you're captive, get out of that joint, man. It's not worth it. I don't care what they say. If you have a brain and you're a hard worker and you go out there and care about people, you shouldn't be pushing one product anyway. It's not best for them, okay? No product is best. No one product's best for the client. So broker, go out there and sell different products. Give your client a good opportunity and stop forcing stuff that is not good for them. Number 4 on the list here, I want to cover, this is one thing that annoyed me in the Facebook group that I thought was a little, it was wrong. And there's this, and I think this is because a lot of agents that have experience, or there's always more to these suggestions. Why you don't take anybody's opinion online as gospel truth, because you don't know who it's coming from and the experience behind it, right? But there's a lot of agents that said, go as earned. Go as earned in order to avoid chargebacks is the stupidest thing a final expense agent can ever do. Why? Well, if you go as earned, meaning you get paid monthly, it sounds good. It gets rid of the chargeback risk. If they lapse, you don't have to pay back the advance because there is none, right? You only keep what you earned. The problem is you've now created a whole new problem, which more often is worse than chargebacks if you do everything I already told you, and that's not having cash flow. Cash is king in the final expense, baby. If you don't have money to pay for leads, you don't have a business. You're going to go back to flipping burgers, working for the man. We don't want that. So this idea of going as earned is not good in the beginning. I think it's fine over time once you develop cash flow to maybe go from a 9-month advance to 6-month advance and kind of work your way down. But more importantly than controlling your advancing is controlling how you sell, what you sell, the strategy used like we talked about earlier. Last but not least, here's the thing. I don't want you to think that chargebacks are completely avoidable. They're not. If you ever hear anybody say, I only have 1 chargeback a year, it's because they probably sell like 10 policies in a very referral-based program, and they probably don't make a lot of money. People who do a lot of volume are going to have chargebacks. Okay, so it's not a matter of avoiding chargeback, it's minimizing them and having a strategy to minimize them. But so in other words, expect chargebacks if you're doing any kind of volume or scale in your final expense business. I had chargebacks. I tried my best to get around them and avoid them. But every good agent has chargebacks because our clients change their mind. They're fickle sometimes. You know, they're here today, gone tomorrow types, right? You ain't going to change that person, nothing you can do. So build it into your projections, your pro formas. Don't get shocked and frustrated when you see a chargeback, because that's just lying to yourself. They're going to happen. And plan around that by doing things like A, Social Security billing, B, confirming budget, C, being a broker, and then not mentioned but really important, sell in a way that is not pushy, that's more consultative. And if you can do all that, chargebacks aren't as big of a deal, and they're definitely not going to take you out of the business if you follow these fundamentals. So I hope that helped you kind of give you honest perspective on what it takes to avoid chargebacks and have a good quality of business in the final expense business. If you like this kind of content, thumbs it up, subscribe, leave a comment below if you have any thoughts or concerns. If you'd like to learn more about joining the Ford Insurance Group, I got links above or below. Just click those links. That'll take you to my website where you can learn more about my agency and see if it's a good fit. As always, thanks for watching, y'all. See you next time.